Hey, welcome back to Lasco Ford. My name is Paul Zagman. We're going to be taking a look at the 2020 Ford Mustang, and it's a GT, of course, and it's a GT Premium. So on this 2020 Ford Mustang, we're going to go through what exactly to expect out of the 2020 Mustang in a premium package, kind of go over a couple of the numbers of what to expect to pay for a car like this, but also what you're going to get is expecting for the performance of a car like this. So let's get started at the front. We'll walk all the way around. We'll go inside. We're going to do some exhaust notes. We're going to do the gauge cluster as well, go through what that exhaust upgrade is that Ford offers as well. This happens to be a manual car. We're just going to go through a bunch of stuff. So let's get started. Ready? Here we go. This is a 2020 Ford Mustang GT. This is a new color. It's new, but it's a bring back color, okay? So we had this. This is the Kona Blue Metallic. So when you look into that color, there's light blue hues, there's dark blue hues, there's silver, there's just, it's an unbelievable color. They discontinued this color for a short stint and brought it back for 2020. It's gorgeous. Got a black Mustang up front in that black chrome look with a hexagonal grille, all painted to match. Lower grille down below is going to be that darker, that matte finish. You're going to have a splitter here. Now you're going to have a couple different ways of doing a splitter. Now this is the standard one. You're going to go to a PP1 or a PP2. That's a Performance Package 1, Performance Package 2. Performance Package 2 gives you that bigger splitter that's up front, bringing more airflow into the radiator, the cooling system of the vehicle. We do have active grille shutters on this vehicle as well. That's going to lock in engine heat when we need it. It's going to open it up when we need to cool it down. Now you've got two nostrils sticking out of the hood. That's going to pull air back out of the engine bay and make sure and release a lot of that heat out of the vehicle as well. And when you're talking about over 460 horsepower in a Ford Mustang GT, well, let's get the heat cleaned out. Here's the cool thing about this vehicle though. You know, you could drive around and, you know, Dodge has a couple cars. I mean, you might as well call them BFI. They're like a dump truck compared to this car, the way that it handles a 50-50 weight distribution and a proper way to do a car, a muscle car, not a big boat with a bunch of motor in it. This car can handle and also deliver the power to the ground. How are we going to deliver the power to the ground? Well, there's a bunch of different tire combinations and wheel packages that you could set up as well. This happens to be an 8.5-inch rim that's going to come on this blacked out package. We're going to be running a 255. Now, if we go to the PP1, the Performance Package 1 or Performance Package 2, we're going to be running a 305 with either a 9.5 or up to a 10.5-inch factory rim on the front of the vehicle. Are you kidding me right now? Yes, that actually can happen. We got a 4-piston caliper brake system set up here. When we go to a performance package, we convert that over to a 6-piston caliper system for the setup on the 305 tires that will come along with that as well. Wow, that's a lot. Well, there's even more, because guess what? It can come in the EcoBoost, it can come in the GT Premium, it can come in the California Special, the GT 350, right? The Shelby GT 350, 350R, and then you go to the GT 500. Like, there's every option for the actual enthusiast who's going to use a vehicle like this to the maximum potential, or we can go on the other side of the spectrum, still get your V8 5.0 liter, over 450 to the 460 horsepower range, and you can do that for in the 30s on a price point. That's unheard of. To get that much power back in the day, to do that, you're spending a lot more money to hammer that out. Now, we'll talk about some of the dynamics and the features and the luxury that comes with this, the luxury or the premium package in the Ford Mustang for the 2020. We're gonna start with the mirrors. Mirrors, you got your LED turn signal built into it. You've got the mirror cap colored or the skull cap painted to match. This one happens to have blind spot awareness. But if you take a look, if you look at my hand right there, right? Well, there's the pony emblem. Now that's gonna project down to the ground when it's dark outside. Boom, you got this big galloping pony that's gonna be down on the ground when you're looking at this vehicle. When you crack the door at night, it just gives it that much more of an accent for the 2020 Ford Mustang. In the back, we're taking a look here. Again, the back wheel, even deeper. You've got a different setup. Obviously, 70% of your braking can be done with the front part of the vehicle. This is the back portion of the vehicle with an upgrade available with Brembo as well. This is going to be running the 255 as well. So these are able to be rotated. If you get into that PP1 or the PP2, it's going to have a staggered set of wheels that's offered, so it's not able to be rotated. If you get in the PP1, 9.5-inch wide in the back and the front, you can still rotate your vehicle or your rims. If you get in the PP2, they're going to take away your 10-speed automatic transmission that's offered with this car and make it only the manual. All right, so PP2 manual, PP1, automatic or manual. You take your pick. This happens to be a manual vehicle that we're looking at now in the premium package on the Mustang. Couple things to take a look at too. This car's on fire. I mean, really. You can't even play that out, right? So backup camera coming through here. You got a black a deck lid here, accent that's going to go across the back of it. LED lighting for the back. Underneath here, this is where your button's going to be to pop the trunk. So you're going to hit that button right underneath here. You're able to pop that trunk up. This one happens to have the shaker upgraded sound system in it as well. So you got the big subwoofer amplifier that's going to be here, along with a 50/50 rear seat, collapsible rear seating in here, okay? You got cantilevered hinges with your strut here, right? So you got your piston, you got your strut. It's able to shut that. It keeps everything out of the way of this big rubber piece. So pack the trunk up as much as you want. Yes, there's enough room to go on a vacation, enjoy the vehicle, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the hair, the wind blowing through your hair and rocking. This is going to be the quad port exhaust system, so you're going to see two on both sides. If you look in there, you're going to see some baffles, you're going to see some adjustments. We're going to get over that in just a few minutes and just make sure we go over those options and equipment. So when you see it inside, you'll know how to use it, but you're also going to hear the sound of it. I don't know if we should do a sound now or if we should do a sound later. What do you want to do? Let's do a sound now. So that way you're behind the vehicle, you can see what I'm talking about, and then inside I'll show you how to actually work that. So here we go. We'll fire it up, listen to the back of it, and I'm going to adjust. So first I'm going to do a normal driving mode and normal exhaust. And then there's an upgraded Sport Plus. So I'll go through this and I'll explain inside, but just listen for a few minutes. There's going to be a couple different sound notes, about 4 different sound notes that you can have out of the exhaust of this vehicle. So between the track, sport, normal driving mode, you'll hear that in just a second. I'm going to fire it up right now. Check it out. Here we go. Well, if that doesn't have you smiling, take a look at 4 different exhaust modes that are on this vehicle. Not only can you start it up and be nice and cool leaving out of your apartment complex, your house, your subdivision at 6 in the morning without waking the dead. Well, you can if you want to, but we can show you a couple things inside on how to just fine tune that just right for you. But we're going to talk and finish a quick thing on the outside, then we're going to go to the inside of it. So you got a low lip spoiler that's going to come on the back of this. This happens to be a black package on this car, so we're going to do the black spoiler on the top along with the black wheels, which we've already talked about. Capless fuel system makes for easy access. You're going to be able to run a mid-grade, a premium, or a regular fuel. Do you see premium anywhere in here? No, but that's where your highest performance ratings are going to go. So if you do run a premium fuel, yes, that's your highest performance ratings, right? That's what they're going to rate the car off of. But can you run it on a regular or mid-grade? Yes. I have an 04 Maxima that doesn't even run mid-grade. 04, 16 years ago, I couldn't even do what I can do in a 2020 Ford Mustang, right? So let's take a look at the inside of the vehicle. We'll check that out. We're going to go through some dash displays. We're going to go through different options on the inside of it on the premium package. So we'll talk about a couple things really quick on the driver's side here. Then I'm going to hop in and show you what the dash looks like, what the gauge cluster looks like, because this does have the premium package with a huge LED or LCD productivity screen, huge right there, right? So you're going to see all this leather trimmed. You're going to have perforated on the side. You're going to have that accent stitching that's going to go through it with a stainless steel handle. Up here to where you've got driver's seat 1, 2, and 3 for 3 different drivers in the vehicle. Your power windows, your power mirrors, all of that's going to be right there. And this has a B&O or Bang & Olufsen sound system, and it just rocks. So the upgraded sound system that you saw with a subwoofer, the amplifier in the back, is in the premium package. So it's not going to be in your entry-level EcoBoost and your entry-level GT cars. You're going to have to get in the premium to get this quality of the sound system about it. Let's take a look at the inside of the vehicle. We're going to go through some steering wheel controls and just really see what the whole thing's all about as far as your cockpit of this muscle car is. So come on, follow me. Let's go inside. How are you not excited when this is what happens when you start your 2020 Mustang? Just foot on the clutch, foot on the brake. That's awesome. I mean, that's got to have you excited every time. Now this Mustang, 55 years running, well 55 and a half, you'll see that up on your dash right here on your twin eyebrow setup, right? So this is where your passenger airbag's going to come off of. But 1964 and a half, when they introduced this in New York at the World Fair, when Mustang was introduced by Ford, they'd be a lot happier now if they saw what this was back then. We got a huge display here. So you got an 8-inch display that's going to be right up front. That's your Sync 3. It's a 4th generation of it. It's got a 4G modem that goes along with it as well. But really, are we paying attention to a lot of this stuff? The navigation, the applications. You can get that in your F-150. You can get that in your new Bronco. You can get that in your Mustang. You can get it in your Edge, your Explorer, and so on and so forth. What we really want to pay attention to is down here. So that's going to be our hazard switch, right? That's what you're going to flash when you blow the doors off of anybody you're racing, right? So just give them a heads up. This right here is going to be your traction control mode. So when you hit this traction control mode, you can have it on or you can have it off. Here's going to be your driving feel. So you have a sport steering, a comfort steering, flip through to a normal steering, and then you can actually go over here again to another mode, and the mode is going to be normal, it's going to be sport, and I'm going to flip through this too. But if you take a look here, you're going to see your tachometer wrap up and around. So if I hit the gas, you're going to see your needle come up and around where your gear shift is. If we go into first gear, you're going to see gear 1. Now we have options here. So you see your sport driving mode. We can flip that over from Sport Plus to track to drag. Hold on, we're going to keep going here. Drag, strip, snow and wet, and keep on going, right? So normal driving mode, so on and so forth. Now your exhaust. You're going to take a look down at this steering wheel because people want to know how to use it. Here's your steering wheel. You're going to hit this pony button first, okay? So I'm going to hit this because it's telling me my doors are open. Of course they're open. But you hit your pony button. So hit that first. That's going to give you this display up top. So when you get in the display, you're going to have a right toggle switch on the right side of your steering wheel. We're going to go to the exhaust mode. So I don't know if you can hear this, but let's rev it up real quick. From where I'm sitting, now if we go into a quiet mode and we hit our OK button on our steering wheel, there is a significant difference. Here's the cool thing. When you get into quiet mode and you press your OK button and you go back down into sport and track and everything else, well, here's the cool thing. When you go into exhaust mode, you can do what's called this, the quiet start. So when you go into quiet start, we can literally set a quick timer and go, hey, anytime before 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., we can adjust over and then adjust cancel. We can adjust 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., so on and so forth. So if you fire your car up and you do have, yes, this GT Premium, you're not going to wake the neighbors and everything else. So you can adjust it from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. It doesn't start loud. But you can also adjust at nighttime if you fire it up at night. So that just gives your neighbors, still has a thumb up and they actually still like you, right? But this car is going to have a lot more settings than that. You've got navigation on the steering wheel because they do want a driver engaged. So you got navigation, you got your phone, you have your settings, you have your Mustang notes, you have your media, you have your cruise control, you have your left side screen up here on your joystick on the left side of the steering wheel, and you have your right side for the right screen on that joystick too. So it's using everything right here and your hands are still on the wheels. So just going through some options here, your start stop, plenty of room inside of the vehicle as well with all the options and equipment inside of it that you would ever need. Things that I just talked about with a customer last night that we haven't pointed out on a video recently is Sirius XM Travel Link, right? So when you touch TravelLink, this is going to tell you fuel prices, how your traffic's looking, your sports information, who's winning on what game or what event is going on, your ski conditions, even parking. Movie listings are going to come with that too. And when you see these two little dots, that means there's even more to come see. Subscription info over on this side. So that's underneath your applications. If you go over into settings, same type of thing. Two dots, we know there's more to see over on this side. So going through and saying your vehicle's Wi-Fi, your Ford Pass that you're going to be hooking up with this vehicle to start, unlock the vehicle, pinpoint GPS location, all of the above. You've got it all right here. And when we get into the Mustang and the GT specifically, you're going to have track timers. You're going to have 0 to 60. You're going to have 0 to 100, 60 to 0, 100 to 0. So braking, track, you're going to even have a G-force rating on this thing, an accelerometer. Like, this is unreal. To have all of this information would have cost you an arm and a leg to try and do this back in the day. Now it all comes with a GT Premium car. So you want to talk about getting a GT Premium can start in the 40s, right? No problem. GT entry level starting in the 30s. Now there's going to make a Mustang for everybody and still be able to have the big motor underneath the hood. Speaking of the hood, let's go take a look underneath. We're going to talk about a couple intake systems and a couple little styling hues of this design specifically. Let's go take a look. So let's take a look at underneath the hood of the 2020 Ford Mustang GT Premium. So you've got a couple different intakes, right? So you've got a bullet intake, which is going to share the same intake as the GT350, right? This is going to be the intake for the GT Premium, a GT cars, much larger shroud that's coming over the top, and a lot different intake underneath this shroud than what you've had back in the 2015 through the 2017 model years before they came to the quad port injection 5.0 liter, which is going to have 4 different injection points, 2 on the top of the cylinder head, and then 2 as the piston travels down, to be able to shoot at 4 different areas, right? So you can do all 4 at once, 2 at once, 3 at once, 1 at a time, to optimize your fuel economy, but also optimize your horsepower and be able to have a quick response. One thing I did notice firing this car up and driving it is how quickly the RPMs go up, down. It's very, very responsive. So if you have driven a different vehicle and you're considering a Mustang, drive one, because it is very, very tight, very crisp. And I actually really, really enjoy this. And the way that they have the motor set back, you have the nose all the way out here, a lot of your weight's going back into the middle of the vehicle, and that's how they get that 50-50 weight distribution to pinpoint this car on the track. Big things with that is, we've talked about the tires, we've talked about, you know, how wide you can get those. We don't want to get pushed through corners. You do want to be able to hug the road, and that's how they've done that here with Ford. I do want to say thank you for watching the video. I'm going to show you a couple more things, but like and subscribe. If there's any questions that you have as we take a look through a vehicle like this, or if there's a different model you want to see, whether that's an EcoBoost, EcoBoost Premium, California Special, GT500, you've already seen that video we put out, the Mustang with a PP1 or PP2 for your performance package 1 or 2. If you're wanting to see some of those things, we can highlight that. We can stream clips. We can be able to give you still shots, whatever you want to see inside of there. But if you're looking at a vehicle like this is $46,000 GT Premium blacked out with the black accent. That's hard to see with this Kona Blue on the black, but it is just gorgeous. So if you would, like and subscribe. We're here at Lasco Ford. You can give us a call. It's 810-629-2255. We'll tell you what we've got in stock, whether that's a Mustang or any other vehicle that Ford makes, when we do ship. So that's a big thing too. If you're out of our state of Michigan and you want it out in Nevada, we shipped 2 there last week, just you know, with a couple deals that we did with a couple Raptors. But hey, check this out, see what you like, subscribe, like, appreciate it. And hey, we've always got inventory in stock. Thanks again, we appreciate it.